Hello, my name is Liam Birt, and the purpose of this video is to give you a little bit more information about my background, some of my past experience, as well as different areas that I've worked in to determine, whether or not I can add value to the work that you're producing. All of that to say, I have, over 10 years of experience, I guess, spanning across sales and marketing to Salesforce.com administration and Amazon Web Services solutions architecture, as well as just, project management and product development. So born and raised in Ohio, I graduated from Ohio State University with a degree in international relations. When I moved to New York after graduating, I took a job at Panjiva as a sales development representative. Panjiva is a global sourcing and trade intelligence platform. We basically took U.S. customs data on all imports and exports and turned it into a search engine. With that said, I was also a part of a special projects team where we worked with, the 10 MIT engineers that we had to develop products, both internally and externally. An example of an internal product would be an IP address naming resolution system. An example of an external project would be, or product rather, would be a real-time cargo vessel tracking system. And that was great. So that really introduced me to the Agile framework and Scrum methodology, to project management and product development to build software. Moving on, after that, I went to work at a multinational industry research firm called IBISWorld. Now, again, my context was sales, but I was also a part of two, more, I guess, auxiliary special projects. The first one was around a commercial banking product that we built to help commercial bankers identify low-risk industries so that they could, reach out to businesses and lend to them to balance the commercial real estate portfolio with the commercial and industrial side of their loan portfolio. Now, this product was developed in partnership with RMA and in conjunction with the Federal Reserve, the FDIC, the OCC, and this was a great experience. The second product that we had developed was for procurement professionals to use industry research to make better, I guess, procurement decisions, whether they be direct or indirect, and faster. It was really used to negotiate, a market position with vendors. All that to say, that turned into sister company, IBISWorld Procurement, which today is the company Procurement IQ out of California. But really embedded, I guess, at the core is, government data, and then taking this data, which usually comes in raw format, and improving its utility for commercial use. And that was, my experience. But also there are a lot of, obviously many international elements to my background as well, which was a good transition to, launching my own, I guess, independent project in the virtual event space. So if you think virtual event, think like of a virtual booth in a virtual exhibit hall. Everything's on your computer, but you still have some of the same benefits as going to, an in-person event. All that to say, I had decided to launch this on the topic of international trade, international expansion, so business expansion, and foreign direct investment. And I had asked the United States Department of Commerce under Commercial Service, as well as the International Trade Administration under Select USA to participate, and they did, and it was fantastic. They spoke at the event and helped businesses understand the landscape of the United States. So when you're coming from, overseas and you're looking to expand your business here, really getting a feel for what your total addressable market is, your service addressable market, your service attainable market, and then working with, different lawyers, different management consultants, understanding the generally accepted accounting principles. So it was just an overall great event. We had over 200 folks end up coming through to the event. With that said, the interesting thing about the virtual event space is your content, lives on past the virtual event as well. So whereas there may not have been 200, right away, over the course of, I think, I left it open for 3 days, there were 200 people that were able to come and participate. And that was great. You have live chat and whatnot. But one of the bottlenecks was, really not in the software that we use for the virtual experience, but more in the real-time communication software, which is what I built. And that's actually what I'm going to be introducing you to here. It's what I'm using to, record this video. So it uses SFU topology. I won't go into the technical specifications too much, but I'll tell you that it can stream up to 8K with the right equipment. So all that to say, I guess going back to my background, then we'll get more towards what I have in front of me and what we're looking at with the streaming software. What I wanted to do this past couple of years is really focus on Amazon Web Services and script out a way for businesses to rapidly launch a cloud infrastructure that align with government policies and protocols. That would include an intentional naming system that aligns with, how the government does things to really accommodate this public-private partnership. Because I think, working together is going to be pretty critical between the public and private sector, not to mention all of the benefits of having an intangible asset like a real-time communication server. So all of that to say, I've scripted these things out. Now I've also baked in, different ways to make sure that no matter what, you would get a return on your investment. So part of scripting this out would have a front-end web application where you can have, an e-commerce store that fully integrates with Facebook and Meta and Google for retail. And then obviously, you have things like eBay, but also Amazon. So with that said, it's great to be able to have a multi-channel e-commerce store to ensure that no matter what, you are getting a return on your investment, and that your investment is going to result in an intangible asset for your business so you can participate with the government and align with them as we kind of weather these economic storms. Now, apart from IBIS World Panjiva in the International Investment and Expansion Conference, I worked with a lot of CIOs, CISOs, CDOs, CTOs, I guess for all intents and purposes, we could just say the IT professionals in the C-suite in the event space. So ProcureCon Canada, ProcureCon for IT sourcing, field service medical, and then as well as just the one-to-one business meeting types of events as well. So, that was great, but, I guess my heart is always going to be at the center of high tech and trade. And that's really, I guess, one of the themes, or from a thematic standpoint, I guess you could say, is looking back on my career this past 10 years, that's really where I found, the most passion is helping companies grow, whether that be regionally here in the United States, or whether that be, literally launching into a new market, just uncharted territories for your business. So how do you use, IBIS World industry research to understand your industry? And then break that down even further. How do you look at indicators like with Panjiva, which is a prerequisite, international trade is a prerequisite to FDI and business expansion? How do you use Panjiva's data in an actionable format? And then, really narrowing down with something like Zoom Info or PitchBook to be able to develop, a sales and marketing, just architect a data-driven solution to be able to rapidly expand your sales and marketing efforts as well and elevate your position in that market. And that's why, I guess from start to finish, that's what my goal was for this past project with AWS. And I think, I definitely got there. So all that to say, I wanted to introduce, myself, and then give you a little bit more about my background, and then also this real-time communication streaming software, which again, I guess if you're looking at it, it'd be like taking, when I do certain things like, have this whiteboard come up, this would be equivalent to, having a whiteboard come up on Netflix and then having this chat pop up. And if this is, a big type of streaming event that you're hosting, you could have the group chat, and then you could have your individual chats. And it's just a really great way to communicate. The tools that are out there are absolutely amazing right now. I really needed something to communicate with the developers that I was working with. If something happened with the code, or if there was something off about the architecture. So it was a great way to just spin something up and, ensure that it was secure as well, since it's Amazon Web Services. And I'll end on that note, really, is, that's definitely going to be, the company that I'm going to be working with moving forward, without a doubt. It was one of the reasons that I was actually able to get the federal government to join the 2015-16 virtual summits, was because the security that's associated with AWS. So we'll go over, more deep dive and technical details over a call. But all that to say, I hope you're all doing well. And if any of this sounds interesting, just let me know. All right. Thanks so much. Take care.